You're watching the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com. The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Battle Strategies, the program to help you help you. Hosts Green Irene and Ashley Vibes discuss tools and techniques, natural herbs and foods, Mother Nature's medicines, and a variety of practices and techniques that you can employ to help you heal mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Join us now. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Battle Strategies with myself, Green Irene, and Ashley Vibes.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you know what? I absolutely love that our audience is tuning in like it is, and they are looking for answers. You know, the whole scientific end behind it, it's an education in and of itself. And the bottom line is, when we're sick, when we're hurting, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, we don't want the science behind it. We want the answer. And I myself am enjoying a wonderful strain of cannabis while we have our show today. I've been dealing with a little bit of migrating, if you will, muscle spasticity types of pains. And so I find that the cannabis is helpful at alleviating the spasticity. The aches and the moans and the groans are still there. And this happens with a lot of patients, doesn't it? For chronic pain.
Yeah, do you know what? I was just talking about this last night because it really hit me hard about, one of my missions here is to, erase the stigma on these things, because they were once used in sacred ceremonies. They were once used as a religious sacrament. They were once used as food and medicine, free to all of us from the gods who, if God's what you believe in. But, they're here, and we've been growing symbiotically with them since the beginning of us. Okay? Yeah. Here's the thing, though. With cannabis getting legalized and decriminalized and all of these dispensaries showing up, there's a new stigma around, and that's where if you're using this stuff, then you must be a sick person. And I don't much like that either, because the truth is we're all healing. We all get sick. The point is to not stay sick.
That's right. That's right. That's so true. Our bodies, mentally, emotionally, physically, we are constantly challenged in our everyday. And we're going to run up to things where we're going to get ailments. And you're absolutely right. We don't want to stay sick. Just because we have a trauma doesn't mean we have to live in it, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, whatever, right? Puff, puff, pass. But, here's the thing that I have learned through a lot of my training, and it was really hard for me to, as a patient, to recognize in myself, and it's not until you can recognize it in yourself that you can actually cope with it, and that is, there is secondary benefits to being sick, to being ill, to being disabled. There is secondary benefits. Our brain naturally will find so for example, when I was in the wheelchair, I used to make the comment all the time, oh, don't worry about it. No matter where I go, I've got the most comfortable seat in the house. Because we look for the positive, even in a negative situation. But the reality is, in saying that to my brain, I was saying, ooh, if I want to have the most comfortable seat in the house, then I've got to stay in a wheelchair. That's not what I really want, but temporarily that's being programmed into my brain.
Yeah, so you don't take that chair off a cliff.
Right. So I really
self-preservation is an amazing thing.
Yes. But as soon as you recognize that, yes, although you can find the positive in a negative situation, it's important to get out of that negative situation. Even though you can find the positive, doesn't mean you have to live there. And
Exactly.
so when I say things like, buddy, you're not disabled, you're differently abled, I'm not trying to be insulting or cruel or crass or harsh. I'm simply saying you can change this. You can turn this around. And of course, NLP is an excellent way of doing that. It's all in how we talk to ourselves. Now, using all these medicines, like you say, they have been used historically forever. You don't have to be sick to use these.
Nope.
So if you're a person who is maybe at a crossroads in life, for example, and you're really struggling with some decision making and you just don't know what the right move for you is, I promote meditation constantly. I'm constantly telling people, meditate on it. Do some deep breathing exercises. I mean, I piss people off because
this is a deep breathing exercise, smoking. And for me, it is part of that meditation and part of my practice for myself. That said, I have different practices for different days and different moods and different things. It's good to have diversity, but it's also, I think in the diversity is where you get the alchemy. When it's just one thing, it's great, but it's like not the whole formula. We are complex beings. It's nice to keep things simple, but
absolutely. So when a patient comes to me and they're saying I'm struggling, we got a couple of emails and they say, my biggest challenge is I'm a victim of doublethink. I see this side of the equation and I see that side of the equation and I can't get to the answer, so I feel like I'm stuck in the mud. I am definitely paraphrasing this person's email or statements, but that's basically what's
common.
That they're telling me, and right, everybody's going through this. I mean, you and I were just talking about this recently, being stuck in the mud, not knowing what the next step is.
Here's who was it? Emerson? That talked about if you are in a state of confusion, it's a sign that your brain is growing. Freud. It was Sigmund Freud. Yep.
I was going to say he got that from Freud.
Yeah.
Whoever you're talking about got it from Freud. Yeah, and it's true. I mean, if our brains are constantly changing, our cells are constantly changing. And this is why if you're in that kind of position, you don't have to be sick. I mean, you are stymied by something that is physically, mentally, or emotionally blocking you. Therefore, what can you do? You can do meditation, and cannabis really helps with meditation. I do that show on Wednesdays where we talk, I'll spotlight a specific strain of cannabis and talk extensively about it, tell you its genetics and what its profile is and all the ways in which it helps and why it helps. And then we actually do a medication, and then we do a meditation. I have more times than not fallen into the trance as I'm delivering it and then bringing myself out. I've got a couple that go to 20 minutes accordingly because I got caught in the trance. But what a wonderful
yoga too. Yoga too. It's how I was able to meditate, because my brain wouldn't be able to stay still, like OCD, ADD, pretty much everything you can diagnose there. But it didn't matter, I found a way to turn those handicaps into assets, like Napoleon Hill would say. But, I couldn't do the meditation. Even the breath work, I was like, what do you mean? Is this it? It wasn't enough. But when I started mixing yoga in with it, and the cannabis, because the cannabis helps you focus. So if my focus was on the yoga, then the yoga led to the breath work, because when you move, you align your breath, or you chant, or you sing, or whatever. And then eventually you get to just relax, and it's instant you can hit that meditation state. And it's incredible.
Right. And how amazing is that? And so it's a multitude of tools. It's like using these tools to work for you.
Yeah.
So if you did a medication,
it's here for us.
Yes.
It shows up for you because it's for you. And if it's a bunch of shit showing up for you, that's because you've somehow manifested the shit, and you just gotta get your mindset right and start detoxing. Take a shit. Like you the other day when you were on mushroom.
Right? Let that shit go. Literally let it go. And I did. I physically as well as mentally and emotionally, of course, let it all go. And you know, it fascinates me how these things work together. Oh geez, I was going someplace with that. The meditation and the combining cannabis with meditation. I don't know where I was going with that. I got sidetracked with the mushroom thing. But yeah, we carry this stuff with us, and we don't have to. When you're in a state of meditation, you can rejuvenate, recharge your brain. And, you know, they say something like 15 minutes of meditation. Oh, that's what I was going to say. 15 minutes of meditation is the equivalent of a quality 6-hour sleep, REM sleep. That's phenomenal.
You still need sleep.
What?
Yes, but you still need sleep.
Oh, exactly, right?
It's still different. And sleep is where you get the DMT from, too. You know,
natural
who knows
DMT.
Yeah.
So explain what that is. Because I know we've talked about that before, but I don't know how much of our audience knows what it is, and I'd love to learn more.
Yeah. So, endogenous DMT you can get in a multitude of different ways, and I'm not the scientist here, but I just want to expand your mind so you go and do your own research, and then we can have a conversation about it. But so there's the way that you can reach it through your dreams. Dreams, as much as they've been studied, nobody knows what they are still, but they are discovering that melatonin, DMT, and your sleep time are symbiotic in themselves. Also that decalcifying the pineal gland can cause damage in all three of those areas. So we want to, again, be careful with like our diet, make sure we're drinking good water too. You can hold on to that because I'm gonna...
Lots of water, right? You know, that can't be stressed enough. Drink a lot of good quality filtered water.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
When you think of the number of unique products developed in the fields, kitchens, and labs at Legacy 420, it's hard to think that one stands out above the rest. But tell that to the thousands of people who have tried this amazing breakthrough product.
This is our Sacred Salve. This is actually our extra strength. It comes in 5 different strengths. It's all natural, all organic. It typically works within 10 to 15 minutes of putting it on. It's good for arthritis, it's good for inflammation, any kind of pain. We're very proud of it.
Sacred Salve, so easy to apply, along with soothing relief. To select a strength that's right for you, come in and talk to your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
Pace Radio Network. By patients, for patients, and for those who want to know.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Battle Strategies, the program to help you help you. Hosts Green Irene and Ashley Vibes discuss tools and techniques, natural herbs and foods, Mother Nature's medicines, and a variety of practices and techniques that you can employ to help you heal mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Join us now.
Yes, and you want it having a fluoride filter too, and they put fluoride in some of our food, and some of our food is grown in water that has been fluorinated. The guys literally wear hazmat suits to put that in our water. We don't need it. There's natural fluoride, and then there's the fluoride from the industrial industry. It's different, but most of those products also come from the companies that are byproducts of the oil industry. They create all of these other companies. So we do want to be careful of that, because a calcified pineal gland can lead to not having the best quality of sleep, being out of alignment in your circadian rhythm, which actually controls all of your hormones and helps you be connected to nature. With so many people walking around depressed and anxious because they feel disconnected, even though we're in the most connected, time in history. But
we all wake up at different times, and as we wake up, it's great to have. That's why we do what we do. We share for when the people wake up and they're ready to hear about this news, right? About how they can help themselves. That's right.
Yeah, I like to meet people where they're at too. I don't like to push too many things, so I will sometimes repeat myself more often. I think I learned that from you.
Yeah. Well, we all take in so much information, every day, that sometimes having to hear it 2 or 3 times, or hearing it 2 or 3 different ways, is how it actually becomes retained. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all.
And that's what we want ultimately, is to have enough understanding of it that we can start taking some action.
So as patients, we can make educated choices. We can make informed choices and decisions. It's so difficult for patients that are being overwhelmed. Not only are they physically or mentally being extremely challenged, but now all this new information from doctors and the healthcare, I shouldn't say doctors, I should say the healthcare industry as a whole.
Yeah, the healthcare industry, because don't make it personal, because it's not personal to those doctors or nurses. I have worked with both. Right. And some go out and do their own private practices. Some are really there for the right intentions. Some start with the right intentions, but then you end up in so much debt and stress and misalignment that they end up on the pharmaceuticals themselves for many, many years. Right. So, it's an all-around industry issue. This isn't a personal problem. Nobody wants any of this. If you talk to any person, even the assholes, if you spend some time with the assholes, you'll realize there's still there's a sadness that's covering up anger, or an anger that's covering up the sadness. And
we have a saying,
we don't want things to be the way that they are. This is an industry issue.
Right. An industry that is politically and economically driven.
Yes, which means that we do play our part in it. Obviously do your part. That's the biggest thing that you can actionably do. And in doing that creates a ripple effect, which eventually takes it down. You can think about your money as a vote for the world that you want to live in. That's the economy, is us.
I remember when you said to me maybe a year, possibly 2 ago, about a particular business that I frequented, daily, sometimes multiple times a day, and we won't say the name of that business, but we both know who I'm talking about. They delivered this wonderful elixir for me. And you said to me, and I said how disgusted I was with a multitude of things happening in the world, and you said, well, why do you spend your energy there? And I realized, and I say this often, but sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees when we're in it ourselves. But currency, dollars, are energy. They're currency. Just like love is currency. It's energy. Just like, you know, anything that is currency is energy. And so I'm spending my energy on at a corporation that is destroying my communities and my beliefs in my communities with their propagandic, manipulative marketing tactics. Ooh, that was a mouthful. The bottom line is, after you said that, it played in my head. And do you know, I can honestly say in the last year, I have frequented that organization maybe 1% of what I did a year ago, comparatively. And now it's more out of last minute behavioral, what do you call that? You know, we slip back into an old pattern.
And default mode network. And that's all right here too.
Right?
Like in the same part of the brain where the third eye, that pineal gland that literally has a retina and a lens. Like I teach my son that there literally is 3 eyes.
Yes.
And when we close this one, we open this one.
Very, very cool. Very cool. And you know what? I have seen this 6-year-old react that way. he needs to see things differently, and he does physically do that and take that deep breath in and that exhale. It's wonderful. The shit thing is when you're going through that, once you realize you can't unlearn anything you learn, you cannot unlearn. So, you know, I know this, and now default network has kicked in. I'm driving through this place. I'm about to fill my mouth or my belly. My intention originally was to put food in it. And I realize as I'm stuck in this lineup, and now I've got cars behind me, so I can't leave. And I've got cars in front of me, and I'm about to place my order. I don't place it for food anymore because my stomach has remembered that's crap. You don't want to eat cardboard crap. You're going to make cardboard cell crap. Your cells are going to be crap. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then as I get up to the order, it's like, oh, what's the cheapest thing I can order? Because I don't want to give this corporation my money. A small blah, 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 please. And then I go through and it's like, oh, I don't even want it anymore. That's the cycle.
Every time you're getting closer, it takes time.
Absolutely.
Like, that's okay. Like, you need to honor that about yourself for sure.
Absolutely. And this is what we're saying to you as an audience. When you're healing and you're trying on all these different modalities, it's not going to happen overnight. Your body didn't get broken overnight. Your brain did not create the patterns of behavior that it runs, the programs that you run that you don't like. It didn't create those overnight. It didn't sit down and write a code for you. You, through behavior and consistent action, have created these programs. You're not going to change them overnight, but you will see growth, just like I just described. So currency is energy. Any energy that we are expending in any sort of way has to become mindful. We are born and we wake up every morning with X amount of energy, whether that's dollar energy, physical energy, mental acuity energy, emotional stability energy, spiritual and psychological energy. We only wake up with so much each day. Don't give it away. And learning new methods and techniques to get in control, go for it. Your mushrooms were phenomenal.
Thank you. I also want to add too that, you know, there's so much, and like we are transformational energy at that. And there's so much that we do that we don't even give knowledge to. So just to like take a minute of like reverence and respect, I want to read this quote by William Golding, and this is specifically for the women, but I do encourage both masculine and feminine energy equal. No matter whether you're a male, female, or whatever you want to identify as, a cat, a purple person, I don't care. Just honor both, honor that we are both. Now here's a man who understands women. William Golding. I think women are foolish to pretend they are equal to men. They are far superior and always have been. Whatever you give a woman, she will make greater. If you give her sperm, she will give you a baby. If you give her a house, she will give you a home. If you give her groceries, she will give you a meal. If you give her a smile, she will give you her heart. She multiplies and enlarges what is given to her. So if you give her any crap, be ready to receive a ton of it.
That
kind of shit, actually, is what he said. But men have their energy too, and regardless, if we can just think about this transformational energy and this energy exchange, is so powerful, and there's so much that we do that we don't even realize we're doing. We need to remember and give reverence to these natural things that are already here.
Yes.
We're already doing it.
We don't, and as a society, I agree, we do not, as a majority, we do not take enough time out for reverence. We don't sit down and pray anymore. Prayer isn't necessarily the Our Father prayer. For some belief systems, that it is. It's energy, it's focused energy. So a meditation is a type of prayer. Or prayer is a type of meditation, okay. However you want to look at it, but taking time out each day, begin your day with intention. We have always practiced that. You can thank my mother for that, because she has always insisted on that. When you wake up in the morning, you begin your day with intention, and your day will follow. Emotion follows motion. If you're feeling like crap, walk it off. Jump, dance, sing. You'll start off singing and you'll end up going la 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 for the rest of the day. It's wonderful. We are in control. We own the keys to this vehicle that we call a flesh machine. Drive it where and how you want to, right?
Yeah. For me, it's going to be like the sun and the ocean.
The sun and the ocean. Yes. Yes, you're going to be going on the road pretty soon. Perhaps we can share that experience on next week's episode of Battle Strategies and how that applies to your health and wellness. And maybe perhaps we can talk a little bit about some of the tools and using some of the tools beyond just our brains. On that note, do you have, was there anything else you wanted to add to today's show? We've got a few minutes left, and then...
Well, I guess I've been working with King Palm lately. This is what I was smoking earlier.
Yes.
It's all of the berry terps. I got it as a gift, and then I shared an IGTV or an IG story or something like that. I don't even know what I do on there. I press buttons. I know what I'm pressing.
I know. Sometimes we're doing so many different things and so many different projects, right? It's hard to keep track of them all. I had somebody come up and say, oh, we did an interview, blah, blah. And I don't even remember. I've done so many interviews, so it's like, oh, but that's really cool. Like obviously we made a connection, and that's awesome. But for the numbers of people that we see and the number of products that we tried King Palm. We exposed it on my personal feed, I believe, the Green Irene Canna Talk. And then you did your Instagram, a couple of Instagram promos. These guys were great. They sent you an awesome package. And
I want to hear about the terpenes. Like, to be honest, it's really got my interest, because I do also like working with essential oils, which is a great battle strategy too. Like, if you're stressed out and put mint on the back of your neck or sniff some lavender essential oil, you're good. Like, the thing is, like, here's what's funny, is that the essential oils are actually more dangerous than than cannabis is.
Yes. And it's because it's concentrated, it's heavily concentrated. And terpenes are found in anything and everything, beginning with like wine, cannabis, tomatoes, flowers, herbs.
That's how they get like the perfect pizza sauce or the best wine.
Exactly. Those terps are little molecules, for lack of a better term, because I don't know what they're actually called. I think they are called molecules, or I'm not a scientist, right? So they're called something. Anyways, those little constituent things, they're little terpenes, and they contain all the oil that gives us the smells, the
sticky,
the aromas. Well, because it's oil, right? They're oily. Like when you break them right down and look at them under a microscope, it's a little bulbous, oily thing that is the terpene. So those terpenes are very selectively added to make perfumes. So they might combine this terpene with that terpene because it accentuates. Not only can it accentuate, but it can tune down and diminish things. So for example, if you're somebody who's taking heart medication or blood pressure medication, pharmaceutical style, do not eat grapefruits. The terpenes that are in the grapefruit will actually cause an adverse reaction to that chemical that has been ingested. Okay? Terpenes will influence the action of other molecules. So, for example, with THC, if you've got way too much tetrahydrocannabinol in your system because you smoke just one too many joints and you're a newbie and you're going, holy shit, I think the bushes are calling me. Okay. They're looking at me. The dog won't stop staring at me. And you're going through that whole freak out or, whatever. No, again, cannabis is non-lethal. You cannot ingest or consume enough to cause a deathly overdose. It just can't happen. But the whole feeling of it is very anxious and anxiety inducing. Take some peppercorns, roll them around on your tongue for about a minute or so. Get that oils off the peppercorn, because those are the terps, beta-caryophyllene, that you are now putting in your mouth that is going to reduce and suppress the THC. Now, all of that being said, that tells you an idea of how terpenes actually work. These guys at King Palm have been brilliant in that I love having a flavored paper to enjoy my cannabis smoke with, but I don't like the dyes and the chemical synthetic terpenes used to create that flavor on like the juicy grape rolls or the juicy fruit, whatever, rolling papers or the cherry rolling papers.
The maple syrup ones I got for Cannabis Day.
Right? Okay, so I don't like those chemicals. I have physical conditions that I have to manage and monitor cautiously in order to have a quality life. And so I don't get to appreciate those as often as I want. But now with King Palm out there, they've got a natural leaf rolled blunt that's made out of a palm leaf. It burns beautifully. But to top it all off, on their filter, which for the record is corn husk filter, so all natural, they have taken terpenes and created a little ball of terpenes that they put into that corn cob filter. So before you smoke your joint or your blunt that's wrapped in palm leaf, you give that corn cob or corn husk filter a little squish. You pop that little ball of terpene oils open, and now all those flavors are in there. And every time you inhale, your olfactory, so your smell and your gustatory, work synergistically. So as soon as your olfactory absorbs that cherry smell, your belly goes, oh, yum, yum, yum. And it's an exciting little puff. And that's how the terpenes work.
Yeah, so you could set real intentions when working with these. One of the things I like about rolling my own is that I'll write little affirmations or notes and set my intention in it, and then I burn it away. Maybe it's to release something. Maybe it's to transform something. It's very representational. And then with these, I was like, I'm kind of going to miss out on that opportunity. But it's there through the essential oils, especially when it comes to healing or even like celebrating something. because you can get that like little, you know, it's fruity, it tastes nice, and it's a very luxury, they're a very luxury brand.
Yes, and it was a beautiful tasting. We enjoyed the honey mango wrap the other night when you received the package. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of going to the maple sugar bush when I was a kid. So you can just imagine how long ago that was. And but we would get there and there was always candy along the way, because I was usually going with my grandfather and my uncle, my great uncles, right? So what did old people do in the days? What did our seniors do? They fed us kids candy, because that was the treat of the day, right? So the candy, and of course at my one Minook, at my one uncle's farm, we would go and collect the buckets of sugar maple, and we'd bring those in. And when we did, he would share with us some of the stuff that had already been processed, so that all those wonderful joyful experiences came rushing back when I had that puff. It was kind of like the same combination of happy joy. And I don't know if anybody just caught that, what I just did, but I grabbed my elbow, because that is called an NLP anchor. I remember those wonderful, glorious, joyful, zestful feelings, and I anchored it on a place that doesn't normally get touched. That way, when I'm feeling down in the future, if I'm going through something that's negative and I need to feel that joyful, all I have to do is ignite that trigger, and boom, my body muscle memory remembers. And that's what we're saying here on Battle Strategies. There are so many natural things we can do. And so Natural Ashley Vibes, and myself, Green Irene, are going to be sharing all of those things with you through natural conversations about health and wellness. Thank you so much, Ashley. I am so glad that you have joined me for Battle Strategies. And I'm sure my audience, or our audience, appreciates it as well.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Okay.
This is a good time.
It is. It really is a good time, right? On that note, guys, stay tuned, stay tuned. Tune in next week, and we'll be back talking about more strategies, battle strategies. All right. Peace out. Thanks, guys. And there we have it. Thank you for tuning in today. If you have any questions directly for Ashley, you can email her at ashley@elementalgrowth.org, or you can reach Green Irene at info@greenirene.ca. Further information can be found on either of those websites. Notably, Battle Strategies airs live every week here on the Pace Radio Network, broadcasting on cbgtv.com. Production assets and content have been created by myself, Irene York, and the show is hosted by Ashley Vibes and Green Irene. On that note, be happy, get healthy, and stay strong.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
We are the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.
Bubblegum. It took several years to finally come up with a stable bubblegum strain with the typical sweet odor and euphoric high. Now this strain got its name for its smell, which is just like the pink bubblegum. This strain was able to acquire a quick reputation for its sweetness. It has a mild taste with a bubblegum flavor, both during the inhale as well as the exhale. It is an indica-dominant hybrid, 80% indica, 20% sativa. THC is anywhere between 15 and 19%. Australian Bastard Cannabis, ABC, or pronounced in Spanish. This is a unique strain of cannabis that is specific to Australia, having structural and growth characteristics that are distinct from any other known cannabis variant. Check it out. Notably, it does not exceed 5% THC. Dr. Grinspoon. This strain is a pure sativa heirloom that inspires the imagination. The effects of Dr. Grinspoon is long-lasting and energetic, an incredible mind trip. THC of 25% approximately and CBD of less than 5%. Dr. Grinspoon. This strain is a pure Duck's Foot. Now this is another classic in the lineup of bizarre genetics. Named after its leaves that resemble the webbed feet of ducks. This plant comes from Australia, where it is only of an outdoor variety. As it seems to do best in warmer climates, it hasn't had a lot of luck growing in the northern hemisphere. Underground Seed Collective, however, has bred this unique genetic line for over 4 generations so that they can offer the legendary Duck's Foot in regular seed form today. Nebula 2 CBD is a slightly sativa-dominant hybrid. It's about a 60-40 sativa indica strain. Now, this bud was bred specifically to capture a high CBD level while not losing the potent effects of the Nebula strain.
This results in an average THC level of 5 to 7% and a CBD level of up to 8%. It really does have a mellow, uplifting, and energizing effect that leaves you completely pain-free, both mind and body. Inferno. This is the result of hybridizing the freak show variety with a Sensi Durban. In the case of Inferno, they have achieved a plant with 80% sativa dominance. This can be harvested in just 9 weeks when you grow it indoors. Yes, 9 weeks. Notably, it has buds that offer a very sweet and complex aroma with up to 20% THC. Slap Z or Slaps is a slightly indica-dominant hybrid strain, 60-40 indica sativa, created through crossing the delicious Runts and Grease Monkey strains. Now, due to its effects and average THC level, Slaps is often chosen to treat conditions like anxiety, appetite loss or nausea, depression. Purple, this beautiful hybrid weed strain. Reviewers say this strain makes them feel sleepy, creative, or talkative. Purple has 21% THC and 1% CBG. Now, the dominant terpene in this strain is myrcene. If you're searching for the perfect happy bud to get you lifted and wipe away the aches and pains or cares, you've found it with Purple. Give this wonderful strain a shot. Wedding Cake, also known as Triangle Mints number 23, is a potent type of indica hybrid. This strain is made by crossing Triangle Kush with animal mints. There's a fun fact. In Canada, this strain is also known as pink cookies. Now, medical patients choose Wedding Cake to help relieve symptoms that are associated with pain, insomnia, and appetite loss. Buddha, an award-winning sativa dominant strain, primarily a cross between Jamaican and Thai weed strains. Not only is it an award-winning strain, but it is quite different from various other strains that you may have already come across. It has a THC content of about 18% with a real fruity, sweet smell and hints of spice. Noticeably, the taste is quite unique and intense as well as potent. It kind of leaves a roasted pepper aftertaste in your mouth. After smoking Laughing Buddha, you will come to realize that it is something out of this world. It leaves you with a strong baked feeling in just a matter of minutes, and even though you don't feel sleepy at all, you're going to be able to stick to whatever you're doing without getting distracted. It also helps patients who are suffering from insomnia, depression, glaucoma, migraines, and nausea. So definitely, if you get a chance, give this strain a try. Ashweed, not to be confused with hash weed, is also known as ASH, which is an acronym that stands for Afghani Skunk Haze. This is an indica-dominant hybrid strain that was created through crossing Afghan haze with Afghan skunk. Ash takes its parents and blends them beautifully, leaving you with a relaxing and happy high. It's great for kicking back at the end of a long and stressful day. Quite honestly, the euphoria is definitely a creeper. It washes over you slowly with numbing effects and then lulls you into a nice relaxed state that's slightly sedative. As the euphoria continues, you're going to find yourself falling deeper and deeper into a pleasant, hazy, introspection type space. It'll leave you sleepy and spacey. Thanks to these effects and its powerful 15 to 20% average THC level, ash is often chosen to treat conditions such as chronic stress or anxiety and chronic pain. It has a sweet, fruity berry flavor with a hazy skunk exhale that's incredibly smooth. The smell is very pungent and skunky with a notable fragrant floral effect. It makes for the perfect fusion of skunk and haze. The rare strain of ginger ale. It's a cross between Cinderella 88 and Cafe Girl, which are two intriguingly rare strains. Now, ginger ale is a 50-50 hybrid and exceptionally potent. This strain needs to come with a severe warning. It is not for novice cannabis consumers. It is a hybrid that's known to test upwards of 20 to 25% THC, and it's heavy-handed high that delivers an immense burst of euphoria. Couple that with weighty body effects that saturate your perception and lock you into the couch. Honestly, use this strain with care, as the effects have been known to overpower unseasoned consumers. Ginger ale is known to relax the consumer nearly to the point of sedation. Enjoy. Gasoline Alley is a rare, slightly indica-dominant hybrid strain of 60-40 created through the potent cross of I-95 and Fruitbound. Now with this bud, the name says it all in the flavor department. Gasoline Alley brings on super gassy diesel flavors that's accented by surprisingly potent hits of sweet, fruity, candy, and creaminess. The aroma is very similar with a gassy diesel overtone that kind of turns pungent and heavy with touches of flowers. So the Gasolina Alley High is a little more mellow than the flavor, with deeply relaxing effects that are super potent in nature. You'll feel a strong onset hit, probably about a few minutes after your final toke, filling you with a sense of sleepy happiness and unfocused bliss. It is a deeply relaxing body euphoria that comes with couch-locking effects, and it leaves you totally relaxed for hours on end before fading away into a long-lasting, peaceful sleep. That said, patients like this strain particularly for depression, chronic pain, cramps, or muscle spasms, inflammation, and arthritis.
The Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at Pace